welcome back to the Digital Schoolhouse Overwatch Tournament. My name is Caroline, I'm joined by some amazing gentlemen on the desk, and we are here to bring you our third place playoff. It's really exciting, guys. I mean, I'm super excited to see this, and I know that you guys are too. I can see your eyes, you're looking at me like, oh my God.
I cannot
wait. So Adam, obviously, I just want to intro you for a little bit, so tell us about yourself.
Sure. Adam White, originally from Canada, Irish parents, lived in Spain and the UK for the last 5 years, so kind of a citizen of the world. I am, of course, a Capricorn. I have been in esports for not a very long amount of time. My background is in professional sports. I used to work with football clubs, and I'm a lawyer for my sins. Now I am the CEO of Edge Esports, and I'm the head of esports and gaming at the GOAT agency. Very excited to be here. I'm kind of a newbie to this shoutcasting thing, but you know, they say first is the worst, second's the best, and third is going to play right now. That's what they say.
I think it's okay. I think we've got your back. And obviously we have these guys right here.
Well, these are the real stars of the
show. So Sonny, why don't we start with you? Why don't you tell us why you're here and where you're from?
I'm from St John Fisher Catholic Voluntary Academy, and
don't worry about that.
Yeah. And basically we're just doing they said they were doing an Overwatch competition at our school, and obviously, pretty much obviously. I game quite a lot at home, so I just thought, I might do this. I hadn't played really any Overwatch beforehand, so I joined this competition. We made a team, and we got to the semi-finals of our school, but we got knocked out by Veracity, and well, it was an absolute slaughter, really.
Oh no!
But yeah, it's really good, and I really like Overwatch as a game and stuff. So yeah.
Cool. Well, we're really glad to have you here, and joining you is Chris. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and how much you love Overwatch and how much you love casting now?
My name's Chris. I was born in America. Parents Lithuanian. We started shoutcasting at the regional qualifiers when we played at the Old Trafford Centre in Manchester. I shoutcasted there and I just fell in love with it, so decided to start doing it here and want to carry on doing it.
So just to give everyone a quick overview of what we're doing here, we're just going to quickly run you through the format that you can see here. So obviously this is an elimination mode. Each team has 3 players and they're all trying to kill each other, basically. And if they don't do it in the right amount of time, they're going to go to a capture point, which they will have to, well, essentially capture. So obviously this will happen after 2 minutes. After the countdown, you know, and if nobody's taken that, and then there'll be the capture point. I've just explained that awfully. So there will be a capture point, and it will come after 2 minutes, and they will have to take that. Then the winning team will receive 1 point for that. The first to 3 points will win the entire map, and then the first team to win 2 maps will win the entire game. So that is how that's going to run, and you know, we're going to have this now, and I think it's been exciting because it's been really intense because the games go so quickly, and I think we've seen it, right? It just happens so fast. People are changing their heroes. I mean, what do you think we can see here? What are we expecting to see?
Well, I think we're going to see some dynamic play. Obviously, these two teams have been unlucky in the first round, but they're certainly better than I am. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are they doing justice to Overwatch? Are they future Overwatch contenders, perhaps?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Right.
Cool, I like this. So just quickly to go over our bracket. So obviously before we had Team Veracity and Kryptonite, and then after that we had Battle Bards and SHSB Esports, which has led us to our game now. So obviously for our third place playoffs, we have Veracity versus SHSB. Oh, I do love saying that name. It's beautiful. And then obviously that'll take us into our grand finals with Kryptonite and Battle Bards. So we still have some more games to go before we get to the grand final. And I think it's just been really cool to see how these teams take it now, because obviously once you have a defeat, it's always a bit hard to kind of come back and pick yourself up. But obviously we want to see these teams try and take it and really bring it home and not let that defeat, you know, get in the way. So what do you guys think? Who are you kind of voting for here? I mean, you saw the games before. What do you think?
Well, of course, because us coming from St John Fisher, we'd like Team Veracity to kind of do good in the competition. But for the grand finals, I'd say probably Battle Bards, because their playing style was like very quick and defensive.
Okay.
I think the Veracity's communication is very good, and they, well, obviously we were there, in school with them, and we saw how they communicated and planned out the game. But really, I think it's for this game in particular, it's quite neck and neck because both sides, while they did lose in the first round, they're both very good and probably about equal at the moment anyway, before we see how it goes on.
So we think anybody could take it then? It's all up for grabs.
Yeah.
So while we've been talking about it, I think we're really hyped to see this. So I think we should bring on our first team, and that's Team Veracity. And going up against the team that I absolutely love to say, SHSB Esports. So hello again, gentlemen. Obviously, I've spoken to you both before, but just a few quick words going into this. Obviously, the last map didn't go as well as you'd hoped. What have you learned from that, and what do you think you're going to try and do differently in this one?
I think last time we tried a few metas, didn't we? So not to do any spoilers, but we might try and go something that you might not expect. Not going to say what we'll throw in there, but we might throw a few things in there. I think that partly didn't meant why we lost. I think just props to the team for being just better than we were. I think we had good communication, good compositions. I think it was just a bit unlucky.
I mean, I'm actually quite excited because I was saying earlier on the desk that I want to see some cool off-meta picks. I'm really excited for what you're going to bring out, so best of luck. And obviously moving on to you, I feel like I'm interviewing someone different now. You were the guy on the other side who was kind of giggling away. But so tell us then, are you feeling quite optimistic or a bit nervous? I mean, obviously, they're saying they're going to bring in some off-meta picks. Does that throw you off a little bit?
It's a bit different. It was spiced them up a bit, but I think we should be able to do it.
And do you think, well, how do you think you're feeling now, obviously going in that you'd lost before? Do you think now that something going to be quite different in the way that you're going to approach it, that will mean that you'll be able to bring this home and win?
Well, last time we were struggling a bit with communication, so I think this time we should be able to work on that and we should be able to do a bit better.
Okay, well, gentlemen, best of luck. May the best team win. Please take your places upstairs. So I have to say, I'm actually quite excited now because I said that I wanted off-meta picks and I'm really hoping that they're going to bring in something cool. I mean, guys, what do you think they might bring in here?
Absolutely. Listen, I am the ultimate hipster Overwatch player. I main Symmetra, so I want to see Symmetra, Torbjorn, and Mercy together. I want to see 3 supports. I'm not really interested in any standard dive comps. I think that the team that picks the best will actually be the worst.
I feel like what we should have done is just had a complete off-meta round where everybody could pick heroes that weren't in the meta and then just see what would happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So obviously, our maps have just come up against. These are the maps that we're going to be playing today. I mean, gentlemen, does this strike you as anything quite interesting? Because obviously, we've got Antarctica here, which is quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously we had Necropolis and Castillo as maps for the main, main finals, but. Yeah, I think Antarctica is quite interesting as a map because we've not seen it before today. So, yeah.
I feel like going back to the old regular map that was in the beginning of the game and changing it up with the game, the new maps that came out in the update, is good because you go back to the old tactics and the old kind of gameplay.
Cool. So I think we're just about ready to get into our first game, gentlemen. So please take it away and cast and do your thing.
Fantastic.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, guys. So as these 2 teams are loading up to participate, we'd like to discuss some of the comps. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the principle of verticality. Do you think that Veracity or SHSE, how do you say that?
SHSB.
SHSB.
Yes.
SHSB Esports
are going to be playing. So do you think we're going to see any pharmacy here? Do you think we're going to see someone batten down the hatches, maybe with an Orisa, a Bastion? What are you predicting?
I feel like most people will probably go to the inside house.
Symmetra!
Symmetra!
Symmetra! Yes! Can we get a cheer for Symmetra? Come on! Yes! Beautiful. That team is winning, I promise you. Okay, take it away, boys.
I feel like the inside house would be like a main tactic. See, and straight away going into the house.
Straight on camera onto Symmetra, who's going to be putting down a nice little barrier. Wonder if she'll lay
They're
down some
already
turrets.
pushing back.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Dog's got
Oh, no.
Serious damage.
Oh, my goodness. Okay,
Symmetra is dead.
So Veracity have got 2 out of the 3 players left. Symmetra's still
let's see
alive,
her.
50% ult. She might get her teleporter, guys. That would be very useful.
Winston was low health, so all's left is Symmetra.
That Symmetra's going to have to pull something off.
Symmetra's going to surely emote. And
Symmetra.
this is wonderful. Roadhog here just back and forth, looking for it, healing orb. Symmetra, this is really just a taunting game now at this stage.
It's a 3v1.
If, yeah, I mean.
What do you think, Sonny? Do you...
Well, I mean, if she can well, I'm just using if they can take them all, pick them all off one by one, I think it's possible. But I mean, it's unlikely, really.
It's unlikely. Here is Sonny's insight into this, and by the ghost of Nate Nanzer, I predict that this is a round over for SHSB Esports. Going to go up 1-0. Obviously, they're just holding that capture area point.
Yeah.
How would you play this, Chris? Would you aggressively go for the Symmetra, or would you just sort of camp out on that point?
I'd just wait until she kind of pushes, because then you'd...
Roadhog hooks there, and SHSB go 1-0 up in this 3rd place playoff final here at the Gfinity Arena.
Oh, a Sombra.
Beautiful camera work there. We're showing off these lovely ice sculptures. Antarctica. Obviously, this is May's home turf. Are we going to see May? What do you think? Would that be amazing? Oh, God. Boom!
So, Veracity changing up with Sombra.
SHSB seem to be like sticking together. Well, at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sombra here going around the back line. She's put on her cloak. She's getting healed here from... we're going to see a hack here. She's right in there on the Reinhardt shield. Gets hacked. Transports back
She
to
would have
safety.
been in trouble if she didn't have that translocator.
So one wonders if SHSB have been naughty because they've been told to stand in the corner of the class here. They are just behind the big Reinhardt shield.
Bastien got hooked. Roadhog is losing health.
So,
Zenyatta's doing really good.
just sort of poking around here, Zenyatta. It's kind of hard to break down that Reinhardt shield. They're going to need Sombra to do some getting in behind enemy lines. Red team repositioning.
She could use her cloak and easily push around. Roadhog doing damage.
SHSB seem to be getting pushed back at the moment.
Yeah, they're pushed back to their home base. Sombra there just holding.
So I thought that defense were going to be in trouble, but
30 seconds.
Goodness gracious. That Reinhardt shield goes down now. This is the time to push.
Already going into the house. If Veracity just could get onto the point, they would secure it.
Sombra attempting a hack there behind. Moira shoots off the ball. Look at this, it's going to be... I love this, capturing the point, guys.
Oh, Bastien is down.
Bastien
Reinhardt losing.
Bastion's down, Zenyatta's down. Moira on her own on the point, capturing. Does she have it? Sombra, 90% charge. Moira just staying alive here.
That looks like a close.
Dipping and ducking and diving, and the round is won. Amazing! The blue team come from nowhere. That was unbelievable. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah.
Is there life in Veracity yet?
Yeah, I think that was a fantastic play for Veracity then, and
coming forward.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, because they were 1 against 2 at the end there.
Yeah.
just turned it around.
The secret to their success?
Yeah.
Is it their northern roots? Who knows? Guys, talk us through the comps here.
So, Veracity going for Zara, Hanzo, and May. Hanzo going good for long range.
SHSB seem to be going for another defensive strap.
Yeah, it looks like SHSB are going to batten down the hatches like they did the last time, sort of forming that barricade. Hanzo's just picking off that shield one after another. And obviously Rams, one of the casters here today, a Hanzo main. Not my favorite pick when I get put into a 6 squad with Hanzo, but that's that's another conversation to be had at another time. Let's just focus on this third place playoff. Now Zarya coming in here.
I think Hanzo's
He's going to be shuffling, isn't he?
He is shuffling. Every day he's shuffling. Okay, terrible puns aside, we're getting some quality Overwatch here. Bastion, not into tank mode. Is he gonna drop down here? Oh my goodness. Bye-bye, Hanzo.
But now they have Zarya and May. May could easily damage boost Zarya and get some damage on them.
Yeah, the Mercy could damage boost to Zarya. It looks like SHSB are again going to do this slow play, the slow roller. You can see they're
if
just coming up.
If Veracity could just get onto the point, then they could secure.
I think if SHSB could sort
Look at
of...
this. He's got the res.
She could have
He's
used.
got the res.
She's
Oh,
resting.
Hanzo's back in the
Hanzo.
game.
Oh, that's constancy.
From the dead. Mercy buzzing around the top. There goes the dragon onto the point. Bastion low. Bastion's
Hanzo's down again.
Round loss and What happened there?
Well, I mean, they were so close
They
to...
captured the point.
They were so close to turning it around again, but, you know, just I don't think they were fast enough.
It's funny, people forget that it's not about killing the other team. Sometimes you actually have to stand on the point.
Yeah.
Mercy was buzzing around, obviously got that great
And we
res.
have a May
We've got a May.
on Team Veracity.
Oh my God. Maybe they'll win.
Fight. Match point.
Maybe just...
Yeah.
Okay, so as mentioned there, May on her home turf. She's obviously an off-meta pick, so Veracity staying true to their word.
Or good block off to get that extra space.
Great wall off to get some positioning here.
Yeah.
And both teams have gone with Anna as a healer. Looks like quite sort of low on damage comps. Maybe they'll be playing for that point one more time.
May with high ult charge already.
And Diva just throwing down some rockets to break that Reinhardt shield. Anna flanking from the back. Gets a
Oh,
great
Anna's
sleep
got
on
the
Anna.
Anna.
Wonder if they can pick off her. Maybe we'll see a charge here from Reinhardt.
Oh, Reinhardt got the Anna with the charge.
They might be able to
Reinhardt
push them
getting damage on the Zarya.
Oh, Zarya goes down. Anna's down, and surely Veracity are going to take
Oh, that's slowed it down.
Oh,
And
Diva out of mech. She's doing some
Frozen.
cool emotes. And she waves goodbye. And here we are, round 5.
Didn't even put up a fight.
Sunny,
final.
tell me.
I thought I thought that was very interesting from both teams then, and well, yeah, like I thought it was a good game.
Definitely interesting. And here we are on the 5th map of this icy affair on this Blizzard title. Let's watch over this game.
Veracity going kind of small characters, Tracer, Diva and Mercy. As to SHSB going same tactic as last round.
So I'm a bit of a noob. Would you call that a dive comp? For the fans at home that don't know?
I'd say for Team Veracity, it might, yeah, it would be a dive comp because they're pushing forward with all like the characters, keeping care of Diva and Tracer just flanking and taking damage.
Absolutely. So Mercy's here just getting taken down. She's quite low.
Mercy is losing health badly.
Rusty elevator.
No, Mercy is dying.
Mercy flying into battle here. Oh, goodness. Mercy and Tracer go down. Tracer with 96% ult. She was doing some great flanking work, but surely SHSB are going to take this down now. Diva. Are we going to see some more emotes from Diva? Nope, she's jumping around. Oh, we see an ult, and she goes down.
Good fight this time. Well done to SHSB Esports.
Yeah.
Follow them at SHSB_esports.
So gentlemen, what do we think? We finally saw some off-meta picks. You got May, and those puns were great.
Brilliant. The best puns?
The best puns I've ever
Very
heard.
punny.
Yeah, oh my God, you're so good.
Sorry. Very
No,
cringe.
but I love it. But it was cool though, because obviously we saw Symmetra, we saw Sombra, we saw May. But do we think that they worked well? This is the thing.
Well,
What do you gents think?
in most of the cases we saw, yeah, they did work pretty well, and they used Anna well, with a sleep skill. I don't know what you'd call it. But I think it's really hard to say because I don't know what would have happened if they went with more traditional tactics. And
I think it depends on what they're trying to achieve. I mean, it seems like they see their mates in the audience, they see the fans watching at home, and they want to put on a good show, they want to put on a good spectacle. Sometimes esports isn't about picking the best team necessarily, particularly in the third place playoff. I don't know how you gents feel, but I personally enjoyed it. I loved the little diva wave goodbye at the end. That was very cute. And I mean, let's have some more Symmetra. I just feel like she's not really, you know?
Yeah, I feel like if she has a good team around her, she's a very, very viable pick. And she can be super, super strong and just awful to go against if she knows what she's doing. But it's always tough. Going on to our maps, though, so obviously we have Necropolis coming up next. So I think this is going to be cool to see how maybe they'll be trying different tactics. Obviously, the map is different. So what do you guys think? Do you think they might be trying anything a little bit different here?
yeah, well, maybe because the stakes aren't as high, so I think the teams can have a bit more fun as well. I'm not sure though, because might be using traditional tactics, might be using.
I'm hoping for some fun. But maybe that's what we're seeing here. Maybe it's kind of like, well, this is the third place. They want to have fun with it. They still want to, win, obviously. But I mean, I feel like they're trying to have a bit more fun, try a bit more different picks, and kind of go that route.
Maybe a small prediction. On Necropolis, there are some boop points. I think we might see a Lucio come into this, maybe turn it up a bit, have a bit of fun, boop someone into the middle, bingo, bango, bongo. And guys, who do you think is going to take this one, though? Veracity or SHSB?
I'm not sure. I think.
It's all up for grabs, right?
See what the
Who
pick.
knows?
We'll see what the pick.
It's all up for grabs. All right, guys, we're just about ready to get into our first game now. So please take it away.
So.
Team Rusty going Orisa, Soldier, Torbjorn, a tactic that we've seen earlier in this competition. They played strong with it, but is it good for this map?
Yeah, we saw that on the Black Forest against the Crips, and I'm not sure if it's got the requisite amount of healing. Particularly strong against a pharmacy. If they've got that Torbjorn turret down, upgraded level 2, you can ping off that Pharah in the air. But I'm not sure if it's great against a Roadhog who can quite easily hook a Torb or a Soldier, and then it's map over.
Already, SHSB taking the high ground.
So we saw a lot of this in the regional finals. You've got two teams on the high grounds. They kind of just poke in and out, trying to build their ult, charge their ult, get some damage done, break that shield when they can. It tends to be quite a cagey affair.
I think they're just slinging damage at each other at the moment. And see,
Charging ults.
Yeah, they're just charging ults, perhaps again waiting for that point. These guys seem to be slow rollers. Soldier here building up to halfway. Excellent play there from the Orisa.
Because I'd say whoever just drops to the point now would have an advantage, a lead, as you may say.
They might have a lead getting for that capture. I'd be concerned if they drop to the point that they'll be shooting up and losing that high ground advantage, that positioning. But
I feel like Roadhog might be dropping off in a second.
Orisa keeps trying to pull them out of cover.
one thing is interesting to consider is that Torbjorn turret, it does not have a view of the point, so he'll have to build another one if these two teams jump down. SHSB, looking at it right now, you can see that Orisa, he's about to jump over. And here they go. Shield cast. Red shield going down. Pulled onto the point. Transcendence drop.
Soldier got his ult. See, told you it's about the point. It's mostly
Yes.
about getting the point, and if you get the point, it's a straightaway advantage.
Sonny, do you think that we're going to have any change in tactics here from Veracity?
I'm not. Well, yeah, because that didn't work.
That didn't work,
time,
did it?
And it was very long and drawn out last game.
Absolutely.
So most likely, yeah, we will.
Peeling a Band-Aid off very slowly the last game. Just slowly losing.
Team Veracity pulling it up with a Widowmaker trying to get down the pharmacy.
SHSB doing a pharmacy.
Okay, so I think this battle is probably going to come down to Widow versus a Farah here. Can that Widow get the requisite headshots off? Here's Diva, she dives in behind, puts down some good damage. Now there's Farah up on top. Farah's pinging off that Widow.
Their Mercy is down.
Mercy goes down, Widow goes down. Now it's just Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, if he could just get the point, it'd be kind of an advantage.
I don't think he can. He's not as young as he used to be.
Just jumping about. That's a good charge away. But you have to be careful when you're going around the edges because Farah has like
A pulse.
yeah.
That's right. If you're walking towards the edge of the map, Farah can lay you down. I gotta say, Reinhardt is putting on an impressive show here.
He's on really low health.
I don't think he can get close enough to us. Oh, right.
This team round down. SHSP go 2-0 up against Veracity. Veracity have got to try something different here, guys. What do they need to do to be successful in this next round?
I think it's more of like capturing the point or either getting different tactics to counter the other team's opponents.
No, but that last game was, you know, it was quite a slaughter at the start at least.
Maybe they should do something crazy and follow them on Instagram right now. Maybe that's the
Right
strategy.
At SHSB_esports.
Okay, so SHSB are taking that Lucio pick. They've got Junkrat and Reinhardt here to do that shield protection. Diva, we got a traditional sort of pharmacy Diva dive comp. I got to admit, Farah is a counter to Junkrat.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure that the red team are going to have enough damage here against that flying combo of pharmacy. What do you think, guys?
I don't think Lucio's doing much for the team. If they stay up there on the top, I think, yeah, Lucio could do some healing and maybe a tiny bit of damage, but mostly for this game, that he must heal.
Okay, well, Veracity, SHSB, excuse me, without having the right comp to sort of deal with this pharmacy, are doing remarkably well, actually. Just pinging back and forth, having quite a cagey affair. They've now shifted into the bunker.
Farah using her rockets to shoot inside the house.
That might be difficult for us to get to underground without going on foot.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's just as we predicted, guys. This red team has sort of been forced into a corner that they can't get out of. They just don't
And the shield is down. Lucio might use his speed to get onto the point. But Lucio is down.
That's going to seriously
Lucio
damage
down.
her.
Great DPS work there from Farah.
If Veracity,
Junkrat gets a shot
Junkrat is going onto the point. He might capture it.
It's unorthodox play from Junkrat here,
And
battling with
Team
Farah in the sky.
Veracity have got the point.
The second there.
Okay.
That one.
Veracity,
What's the
so
point?
now we're 2-1 down. Veracity obviously had a great comp there against the Junkrat and the low verticality of the red team. Do you think that they can do it again, guys? Do they have enough?
Yeah, see, they changed up the tactics and characters straight away, and straight away there was a different kind of playing style to the match. So now they're changing it up to Reaper, Roadhog and Zenyatta. That's quite different.
Reaper, Roadhog, Zenyatta here against Moira, Bastion, and Reinhardt, which has been a popular pick for SHSB. I'd wonder if that Reaper can get in behind, get that kill real quick against that Bastion, if we can have a fifth point on this map.
If Zenyatta could get Moira, then the team will just go down, but Bastion has his own self-healing. So then the next will be Bastion to kill.
I think the key to sort of defeating them in this game for Veracity would be to get rid of that Bastion, because
Well, if they get rid of the Bastion, then they've very little damage.
Reaper could
isn't it?
use his teleport and go behind them whilst Roadhog and Zenyatta are like distracting.
That's what I'd like to see. I'd like Reaper to teleport behind and then do a 360 headshot onto the Bastion. That's the only way they can win. The only way.
Teleport right up there, jump off.
That's it,
Trick shot.
absolutely.
And then it's only a matter of really getting the Moira, and then the Reinhardt opportunity to come after that.
High ground here. Reaper just trying to get some damage and charge that ult. Bastion sets up. Moira.
Already SHSB pushing back, and Team Veracity, Zenyatta is on the point.
Look to be getting attacked.
Reaper is on the point, so now the whole team is running to the point.
So we're seeing that capture unlock area in 15 seconds.
And then now they'll have to try and fight to get onto the point. If they don't make it, then it's a point for Veracity.
Okay. Heading towards the end of this fourth game. There's only 5 seconds left. The red team are going to have to get onto the point quickly.
Really 9 seconds.
I don't think they're going to make it. They're not going to make it. Oh, they're on just in time. Ryan goes for the dive. Dives. Bastion doing damage.
Bastion. Oh.
Tank mode. Beast mode activated. Transcendence down.
Bastion down. Moira down. Point for Team Veracity. How did they push that?
That really put me on.
Unbelievable.
That really put me on the edge of my seat then.
Guys, is that 2 games in a row? Veracity have gone 2-0 down and then come back? They are just putting on a show.
They have this special ability of coming back if they just start losing the first couple of rounds.
Absolutely. And speaking of special abilities and coming back, we're on the 5th point here.
Veracity going Moira, Winston, McCree. That should be a strong kind of tactic.
Couldn't agree more. McCree and Moira still on fire from the last round, and we're having a bit of a cagey affair downstairs in the crypts, so to speak. They're lucky they're not playing against the crypts in the crypts, am I right?
SHSB going with 2 tanks and a DPS, so I don't think the healing will be too good.
Well, they're just sort of back and forth now. Winston throwing down the barrier. Reinhardt with his shield up. Moira healing from on top. We're wondering if that McCree can flank around the backside, or is that too disjointed as a team?
They're already spreading out to the outside.
I think that's a bit risky, really, because,
You know what would be sick? If someone goes right on top and jumps down behind them.
That's it.
That's the winning tactic.
Some proper flanking play. Some London
Moira
Spitfire
has
stuff.
the whole ult.
Okay.
Soldier is down.
Oh, Soldier's down. Moira drops her ult. She's doing serious damage here to the Reinhardt. Reinhardt getting shot by the Winston.
Down.
Winston on Zarya. Zarya on her own.
Zarya gets the point, which means Veracity.
Frankly, there.
Wow, so look at that. So maybe that was a little bit unexpected. That was a good comeback that we saw from Veracity. I mean, did you guys see that coming?
Not all really. I mean, I thought they were, doing good to go back to pharmacy, things that knew more traditional tactics and stuff. But yeah, I didn't expect it at all. No.
I felt maybe their confidence was a bit knocked down by the first match, getting losing. That could have impacted them a lot, but they came back using the special ability.
I think what's great is that Veracity, who I was speaking with in the green room before, and they said, if we get to Castillo, we've got this. They reckon that they fancy themselves as a Castillo players. I think we'll see Sombra get in there on her home turf, and Veracity are going to speak La Verdad and win here in this last match. What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, I do want to see a fight where it's all to play for in Castillo.
And that's what we will see, I think.
Yeah. And predictions, guys. Who do we think's going to take it?
Well, as I said, it's all Veracity for me. I think the showmanship is out there. They've had divas emoting.
I mean, you're all for the emotes, I think, aren't you, really?
That's just because I'm not very good at shooting the other players. But yes, I'm all about the emotes.
I think Veracity as well, because they've shown that they can come back, and I've also seen them play very, very well on Castillo, so I think they can do it, yeah.
Cool.
I definitely think they can do it.
Yeah, cool. And obviously we have Castillo next, so I think that's going to be really exciting to see it. I mean, guys, it's a lot of pressure here, but, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm having a great time.
I'm excited for more of your puns as well.
I'm gonna do my best to bring out at least 3. So if we can get a counter up somehow on the overlays, let's get a pun counter. Go on, tech team, do that quickly.
They're just like, we don't want to hear any
We're
more
not
puns.
doing any more puns.
Please,
Yeah.
please stop. But cool. Okay, and I guess, well, I think we're going to be in game very, very soon. I think we're just about ready to kick it off. So, gentlemen, please, once again, put on your casting hats.
Okay, guys, so this is final map, 3rd place match. Can we get the audience to make some noise for these 2 teams that have done a great job thus far? Okay, so Team Veracity, just with the Lucio pick, doing a little bit of a psych out on their opponents, as well as the commentator. Sombra, there she is, home turf, against that sort of very prototypical Pharmacy plus Diva combo, getting real high up in the air. Going to be tough for Lucio and Winston to get any damage on those guys.
I feel like this would be a very pressuring game, seeing as though Team Veracity have won one map, SHSB has won the other. Winston already down.
That Mercy's taking a lot of risks.
Farah was really low. Lucio losing damage quickly.
Winston goes down early. Sombra darting in and out.
Lucio has the speed and he was down by the. As I was saying, Lucio could have just easily moved around.
Well, I think that was to be expected given the team comps there, guys.
Yeah.
What do we also that is just par for the course with Veracity. They just throw the first 2 games and then come back, steamroll their opposition. Are they going to copy their pick here?
Yeah, maybe, but I think this just goes to show that traditional tactics work better than, random.
Yes, randomness is not a great strategy in Overwatch, I don't think.
I feel like Veracity always does they kind of flank the first couple of games to see how they actually play and the playing style, and then they can counter their tactics and get some good hits on them.
So they're getting some information, they're studying their opponents like the good students they are. That's brilliant. Okay, Roadhog, very disjointed from the rest of the team. It gets pulled back in here by the red team, SHSB.
Zenyatta really low damage, but regenerating. Farah is doing damage on the whole team.
Farah just poking around that corner. And they're hiding in behind that Orisa shield.
The Roadhog's acting as a big distraction for SHSB. SHSB.
Mercy losing health. I think she needs to go back a little bit and gain some health.
Yeah, they're just going to heal up here. Roadhog going 1-on-3. This is great play here from Veracity.
Can't tell if they fell or they did that on purpose.
Roadhog doing some serious damage. Goes for the hook.
Roadhog's going.
Roadhog goes down. Oh, but he takes Zenyatta with him.
That's cool.
I think it was his last hook.
So now.
Capture point is unlocking in 20 seconds, guys. They've got to either get a kill here or really occupy that. And look at that.
Roadhog's back alive.
Roadhog's back alive.
Thanks to Mercy.
And 2 become 3, like the Spice Girls said in 1996.
More of the Jones.
I think that's what they said. Round lost.
The round goes to Team Veracity, playing it strong.
I think Veracity are going to do it again.
Veracity would have played it strong if. I think they would have lost the match if Mercy wouldn't have rezzed Roadhog, because Roadhog was doing quite a lot of damage.
Well, it was interesting there that Veracity took the opportunity to, copy their team. There's no points for originality in Overwatch, so they essentially copied the team comp of SHSB. I think we're going to have a more gritty match here now that we've got some, May Reinhardt, May effectively a tank if she can get those ice walls up.
I really like that tactic. I just like it because
May building up the walls.
May building the wall, Reinhardt with the shield. It's a very sort of slow-moving tactic. Trying to chill their opponents here. Orisa throwing down the shield.
If it wasn't for Reinhardt putting up his shield, either May or Anna would have been hooked about twice already.
Yeah, that Reinhardt definitely doing some great teamwork. Get behind him and he'll save you, he'll protect you. I wonder if the Mei with her Ice Lance is doing enough damage, or if she's too defensive for this comp.
I feel like, yeah, she keeps blocking off the wall, and that gives, like, Veracity, like, more time to kind of communicate.
Oh!
Mei's down.
Reinhardt drops that shield for half a second, and Roadhog straight in there with the hook, pulls him into the team, and Zenyatta and Orisa make mincemeat of Mei.
Roadhog hiding behind that wall, and again, Reinhardt pulling up his shield. I feel like Veracity should just get on the point and they could capture it.
It was a slugging match until here.
Gonna need to see some exceptional play here.
Roadhog
Reinhardt
tried
goes
to
for
flank.
They're going to have to pull something off if they want to win this now.
Roadhog's flanking here from behind. Anna's got to watch that hook. Reinhardt gets hooked from behind,
Anna
takes the swipes. We're going to see an ult. Transcendence now. Anna straight behind that. Gives the nano on the
they
Rhine.
need to wait until the ult's over before they should have done.
Reinhardt losing that. And it's up to the Anna.
And the quote-unquote home fans go wild.
Still putting up the sign.
Still putting up signs in the audience, absolutely. Follow them on Instagram. I will, absolutely. We all will after this epic match. One of the casters getting out his phone to follow them immediately. And we're seeing Torbjorn. Does the Swedish have enough in him?
I really like this. I really like it because it's like so defensive and like so. It's just really hard to get through.
It is. It's a very stubborn team comp, if you will.
This is kind of a Veracity's like main tactic, because they all just they do this on Black Forest, and it's really effective. So if they do it on different maps, it like might have the same damage.
It absolutely might have the same amount of damage. So the two teams now just playing hide and go seek, forgetting what this game is all about, which is to engage with the opponents. Just seeing some small little pokey damage there. But you're right, that Torbjorn Orisa soldier comp, no healers. Obviously, soldiers can drop his heals, but it's not as effective as, say, having a Lucio or a Mercy. It didn't work on Black Forest. I don't think it worked on Antarctica. What do you think it's going to make it work here today?
Usually they go for this in the spawn rooms, in the corner of the spawn rooms.
Okay.
You know. But they've gone for it here, which is quite a weird place.
Torbjorn can throw down his shield, adding extra life for the team. But going back to SHSB, it's kind of a win or loss situation because it's a triple tank. They could do a lot of damage and win, or they could just lose a lot of health and get taken down.
By the looks of things, SHSB are going for the waiting game, so they're just going to wait around till the capture area, and then it's going to get real.
Torbjorn building his turret.
Both teams drop onto the point. Brilliant play from Orisa there. She stops the Reinhardt dead in his tracks.
He took a risk and it didn't work.
Zarya down by the...
Zarya down, Winston down.
Winston down.
And that's...
Look at this. 5 sets every time. They're relentless in this.
Right, final round.
This last match is going to be, oh my gosh.
The last
final round, guys. This is for third place. Let's bring this up, okay? Audience, we're going to need your support here as well. Cheer whichever team you fancy. If you like Veracity, or if you like SHSB, come on, guys. Digital Schoolhouse in the house. And we're at Gfinity here, televising an epic third place battle. And we've got Anna, Bastion.
Zenyatta is doing damage to the Reinhardt shield.
Oh, that's a big one.
Moira. She's Irish. We love her. Come on, Moira. Do some damage. Jesus.
That's a good Genji.
So SHSB straight onto the point. Obviously, don't want to lose this last map, guys. This is very tense.
They're both on the point, so that's a save.
Bastion behind.
Okay.
Bastion.
This is a...
Reinhardt slept. Reinhardt charges it, takes down Zenyatta.
Bastion down. Reinhardt versus Reinhardt.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Reinhardt swinging back and forth, batter up. Moira ducks in and out. Reinhardt goes for the pin.
Reinhardt.
That was...
No, the Anna.
Oh, Bastion's down. Reinhardt goes down.
Bastion's down.
Right, all it is the Anna.
Anna.
I don't think we can
1 on
pull
2.
this. No.
Moira
getting-
gets right in there. Anna goes for the grenade, misses the grenade, and
Oh, right, there it is. Well done. Takes the win. Well done. Okay. Very hard match. That's a big one.
Oh my gosh, honestly, that was impressive. That reverse sweep again is just nuts. Guys, did we see that coming? What do we think?
Well, I mean, you guys get right in there.
Well, I mean, I thought it was, you know, it was, oh my gosh, that last match was insane. Like, it was so close at the end, and I was like really on the edge of my seat there, and like, I don't know how to explain it, man.
As I was saying, Team Veracity using the ability of coming back and using the other team's information, they pulled through on the last match, playing it kind of safe with Reinhardt, Reinhardt, but they just played it safe and took the win.
I think what was great to see on that last map is, as I said, Veracity backed themselves on Castillo, and that very final map, they actually went down to 2 players and then repinned the Bastion to swing the match, then took down the DPS on the red side, and it was a 1-on-2, and at that stage, there's nothing Anna can do. She chucked a grenade, a holy hand grenade, didn't connect, and Veracity took down SHSB, who have been fantastic competitors and I think are well supported today in the audience.
No, of course. I mean, we had the audience going crazy during that game. I think they were absolutely loving it. And they're still here. They're still going crazy.
Still
they love
going
it.
crazy?
Thank you, guys. You've still got the follow them sign up. I love it. I wonder if you actually followed them in the end, because I know they were hiding that sign. You're like, I'm going to follow them right now. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you. It's been a pleasure having you on this deck. It's on this deck.
Oh, I don't have any service, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you can't actually follow them now.
Is it on
That's
Twitter
okay.
or Instagram?
Follow them everywhere.
Follow them everywhere.
Oh
Follow
my
their
God.
MySpace.
I absolutely love it. But anyway, guys, we're going to go for a quick break. But before we do, please, we have a panel coming up. So if you're interested in getting involved in gaming or esports or anything to do with this and you have any questions, please tweet at us. So please follow at DIG Schoolhouse and tweet at #DSH Esports. For any questions you might have just about anything you want, you know, we'll answer them. We'll get your questions up there. It's all a load of fun. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this quick break. back, everyone, to the Digital Schoolhouse Overwatch tournament. So we have something a little bit different, because obviously we're not all playing Overwatch currently, but we have a panel instead. So we're going to be talking about all things gaming and esports for your viewing pleasure. Obviously, we've been asking you guys to tweet in your questions, and we have a beautiful live audience here that are going to be asking us questions also. But before we get started, I think the best thing to do is introduce our beautiful panel right here. So starting, obviously, hang on, what's this one? Obviously starting with Craig. Please introduce yourself.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Craig Connell. I'm the commercial manager for XMA Viglin. XMA is a UK IT reseller. Viglin is our PC brand. We have over 30 years' experience in building PCs across public sector. So our main focus in business is schools, university, educational, corporate. But a new area for us is teaming up with Digital Schoolhouse, focusing on gaming PCs. So for this tournament, we supported over 12 schools with six to eight PCs gaming to get qualified for this competition. So for us, it's a new project for Viglin, XMA, and we're pleased to be here.
That's amazing, and thank you for obviously giving your PCs. I'm sure that's made a massive difference to everyone. That's allowed them to be able to compete, and it's been really, really helpful. So thank you.
It's been great. It's been great brand awareness for us, so may it continue. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. Nick, would you like to go next?
Hi everyone, my name's Nick Harper. I run Excient's UK studio. I've been a game developer for over 20 years. I started on PlayStation 1 back in the day. I've worked for various companies. I've worked for Sony, for Ubisoft in Montreal, and currently I run Excient's UK studio, where we make mobile games. We've worked for companies such as Rovio, so we've made Angry Birds games, and we've done licensed games such as we made the Strictly Come Dancing mobile game.
I love it. I like how we end on that one. That's quite an exciting one.
I can't dance though.
Have you played it?
Well, yeah, I play it every day. I have
But
to.
are you good at it? Is what I should have asked.
I'm not the best player in the world, but I'm quite high up there, yeah.
All right, maybe to see you later. You have to give us a show.
Okay.
Right, should we move on? So, Tom, would you like to go?
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Tom Halls. I head up strategic development and franchises here at Gfinity. So we're in the home of esports in the UK, Gfinity Arena here this afternoon. My role is to look after all of our teams and players in the Elite Series. So we have 215 players taking part here each week. So, you know, we're hopefully seeing some future gaming superstars here today. And I'm really, really excited to kind of talk about more what we do as a tournament provider, but also the opportunities for kids and Digital Schoolhouse to get further involved in the future.
Amazing, because it's all about supporting esports and children in the UK and kind of bringing all that together to bring about our next esports heroes, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thomas Miller? I feel like I'm calling like a rota here. Like, are you here? Check. It just seems really strange. But please go.
My name is Thomas Miller. I'm the lead build engineer at Creative Assembly. We're owned by Sega. We make games like Total War and Halo Wars, Alien Isolation, those sorts of franchises. I've been in the industry for not as long as most of the veterans that are here, about 6 years now, and I'm a massive esports fan, and I come out and do sort of events like this and try and encourage people to sort of get into the gaming industry, and you know, advise them on how to do that. So,
Amazing, thank you. And Adam,
so my name's Adam. So my name's Adam Bird. I'm Partnerships Manager for Belong. Hopefully many of you know what Belong is, hence since we did lots of the qualifiers for this final. For those of you who don't, we're gaming arenas spread across the UK, currently have 20. Taking a couple of steps back, game, digital, bought a company called Multiplayer a couple of years ago, who run Insomnia, which I've heard mentioned a couple of times here, and then we wanted to bring that LAN feel into local places. So really focused on providing guys like you the opportunity at the grassroots level to get with your friends and play competitively. I'm actually even more of a newbie than everyone else on this panel. I've been with Belong for a year, and it wasn't so long ago I was in your guys' position, so hopefully I can provide a bit of transparency and the industry and how to get in.
amazing, thank you. So I think we have a really diverse range of people up here, ranging from publishers to tournament organisers to all sorts. So, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, is there anything that you would like to ask? I mean, we have a very esteemed panel here, so please, go crazy.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you perfectly.
Oh, thank you. My name's Mark Ward. I'm a teacher up in Dewsbury, just outside Leeds. To me, things like this are fantastic for the kids, to get them involved and to see every element of esports. And obviously, I think that the link between education and industry is huge in terms of getting the next generation out there. Obviously, I hope you agree with that, but if there are any big decision makers watching in the room today in terms of like government, what would you be saying to them in terms of what schools should be offering in terms of producing the next generation?
So please feel free to jump in if you feel like you want
It's
to.
a good question. I think it's education now. It's to work hard on PCs. I think it's applying, gaming PCs into school for the curriculum is helping and driving, teaching people how to play games, of course, but learn how to use a PC, which is, I find, is an improvement for us going forward.
I think
No,
go on, go for it.
From my perspective, for the games industry and the development side of things, I'd love to see more awareness as to the roles that are available within the industry. I think a lot of people think that you have to be a crazy mathematician or a programmer in order to make video games, and it's just not true. There are an infinite number of roles across like a huge sort of set of skills that I'd love to see sort of promoted outwards and into schools these days.
Yeah, I mean, to second that, I think what's really important from a governmental perspective is to really understand that video games are an amazing medium to both create and to play as entertainment, to not try and demonize them anymore. I think that's kind of really old-fashioned perspective. I think that the people who play are incredibly passionate about what they do, they're incredibly skillful, and the people who move into the industry to make games are equally incredibly passionate, intelligent, smart, really, really smart people who work incredibly hard to make amazing games like the game you're all playing today. So, for me, I think it's very important to understand and express that and be really excited about where the future's going to go.
Of course.
I think we'd second that. From a player's perspective, a big part of what we do is educate parents of players, specifically with schools. My wife is a teacher and will be the first one to question, how are you using esports to develop better social group coordination? How are you using it to build teamwork? Along those lines. So a big part of what we do, and we do work with some government agencies, is educate on the benefits of esports, of what video gaming can do and provide educational and learning skills, but also show that it can be a viable career option, whether you go down the development route, tournament operator, player, or behind the scenes. We have a ton of staff that we've seen come through from production perspective who are now in front of the camera. So being able to educate people and show that it is a credible career, and to your point, getting away from the demonisation of video games has been a key part. That's really where the government can support as well in that perspective from our side.
Yeah, I think similar to what these guys are saying, I think legitimacy is probably a big part of esports. I think there's the outer perception is not great on esports at the moment, but it's the completely wrong perception. I think stuff like getting coding in curriculum at school is going to play a huge part as well, because it's not exactly esports and video gaming, it's definitely to do with gaming, but that's one step on the roadmap of incorporating other bits into, I think, schools' curriculums.
Perfect, thank you guys. I think that was actually a pretty good answer. I mean, there's a lot to touch on there in terms of what governments can do. Obviously, like legitimizing what esports does and all of the different options you have available in this career. I mean, obviously there's so much, and obviously we hope that if there are any government officials watching today, they would look at this amazing show that we're putting on here and seeing all the amazing teamwork that's gone on and the amazing work that's gone on behind the games that we have here. I think it could be phenomenal for them to get involved. So any more questions from the audience?
Hello?
Yes, there are. Over to you.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually looking in the wrong place. I'm so sorry. We'll come to you after.
Sorry.
I love how you still got the follow at SHP Esports up again. I love how this is just a thing going on
Do
today.
follow at SHP Esports though. As someone that's wanting to go into the games industry when they're older, hoping to be a game designer, what would you recommend the best way to break into the industry after university or graduation is?
What's that one?
It's there's a lot of different ways. The thing I always tell most people, most of younger generations, is to never stop making games. Right? You don't have to be in a massive team in a huge studio in order to put your own games out. Unity and Unreal and things like this are all available to young developers, and a lot of them are free. All the tools are out there, all the tutorials are out there, all the knowledge and information is out there on the internet, and you can constantly be building up your portfolio. when you send your CV into a company like Creative, the first thing we're going to sort of want is like, we want to see what you've made. Like it's not just about your experience, it's like what you've made. Show us the stuff that you've actually done. So go grab Unity, start making some games like straight away, and just keep churning them out, and build up a really good portfolio.
Yeah, I think to second that, there's amazing opportunities that exist now for kids your age. It's to understand and get into game development very early. So when I was young, the first computer I programmed on had 16K of RAM, which is, I think, smaller than an app icon now, and you had to make everything work in that. You've now got Unity, you've got really powerful computers, loads of tutorials on the internet, there's loads of ways to find out how to get into game development, and showing that passion, I think, is the most important thing. From there are now university courses that you can do. A lot of them are postgraduate, so you normally have to go to university and then do a postgrad game development master's. We work with quite a few of those courses from our company, and we do internships which lead on to full-time jobs afterwards. So that's a good way of doing it. But I think, as Tom said, really, start creating a portfolio of content. And what we really look for is not only a passion for gaming, but an understanding of the analytical approach to how a game is put together. So, the guys who are doing the commentating on Overwatch, they're not just talking about what's happening, but they're trying to understand the mechanics of how that game is put together. And that is really important. So it shows that you've got an ability to really develop systems, which is what games are all about, really.
I think the key thing is not just gaming or esports, is just distancing yourself from the competition, I guess. So we know that these are going to be really highly competitive jobs and there's going to be thousands of applicants for them. It's just kind of separating yourself from what everyone else is doing. So try something a bit different, make your own games, stick at it, like they've said here, and perhaps get some work experience on your CV. If you reach out to contacts, reach out to your network, and just do something that perhaps when your CV will stand out. So when these guys receive your CV, when we receive your CV, there's something on there that just really calls out, and it's not just the same as all the other guys.
I'll make one other quick point. I would say also you want to be a game designer. And I would say this to anyone who wants to be in almost any position in the industry, is that don't be afraid to jump in a little bit lower. Half the designers on the console team at Creative Assembly started out as QA. They were QA kids who just came in. They were young, they were super passionate, they were like working on their stuff in the background. And after a couple of years, they developed a sort of maturity and a depth of portfolio that they had been promoted up into design roles. It had just been a natural progression for them, where, out of the door, right, you have a strong portfolio, apply to all the design jobs you want, but also don't be afraid to pick up something like QA or come and work in the community and things like that.
I think as well, from a game design perspective, you don't necessarily have to follow a specific educational path. So I've been a game designer for 20, 25 years. I did maths at school, but I did a law degree. I turned out to be a pretty useless, failed lawyer. So I then became a journalist. I did that for a year, and that was I worked at Edge magazine. So from that, that led me to be game developer. So, there's a career path that exists, I think, as long as you have the passion and the determination to do it. You don't necessarily have to go, I've got to do computer science or maths or whatever.
Perfect, thank you guys. And I think that you have a follow-up question too. Am I right in thinking that? No? No? Okay, I heard that you had a follow-up question, but no worries. Do we have any more questions from the audience? Can we go over here? We have to make everyone run around now because the camera has to go the way around that way.
Oh, hang on, the mic's going over there.
It's like a bit of a pass the parcel to get the mic down. We'll get them soon. Yeah, we'll just make them keep running back and forth.
Yeah.
So today we've been getting a fantastic insight into the different types of jobs in the industry. If you had to do an elevator pitch to persuade young people to get into the gaming industry, what would you each say?
Who wants to start?
Everyone's nervous now, aren't they?
Let's go one down the end. Yeah.
I think it's plain and simple. We're blessed to work in something that we're passionate about, and I think it's when you finish maybe you do the 9 to 5:30, then you go home. The learning doesn't stop there. You go home, you watch Twitch streams, and you start reading articles. That we're very blessed to be in positions like that. I finished university and had a short stint at PwC, completely different to this now, and it's completely different. And I wouldn't go. I was very happy to shut off when I left the office from PwC, but now I leave our office and carry on reading. So I think it's not just gaming. There's loads of media industries, which is a similar thing when you can live the industry from when you wake up to go to sleep. I think it's a blessing. So I definitely encourage anyone to get involved.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So the games industry is one of the most passionate industries that I've ever seen. People work in this industry because they love video games. And I would pitch that to all the younger generations as well. If you love video games, and I think it's becoming an increasingly more massive thing, especially as things like esports sort of take off a lot. If you like video games, if you're passionate about them, come and work in them. Right? It's just like it's a fantastic job to have at any point in the industry chain.
Yeah, from my perspective, one of my first jobs out of uni was working with Electronic Arts at a fairly, very, very junior level, because I was that typical kind of teenager that had grew up playing FIFA, grew up playing video games, and thought, this is a dream job, and you're going to pay me to literally work with these brands. I then spent 10 years kind of bumbling around, not very well phrased, moving between traditional sports. So I worked in tennis, I worked in motor racing, I've looked at esports from the North American side of things. But the thing that always really resonates with me, the same way it did with sports, is, and actually it's a great point, it doesn't feel like a 9 to 5, it doesn't feel like a job. It's one of those rare industries where if you're passionate about it, when you go in you look forward to a Monday morning. And I've been incredibly fortunate, especially with the work I do here. We have 200 players that me and my team deal with on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis. They don't keep 9 to 5 hours. So if I get a Skype message or Discord or Slack at 3 a.m., I wake up to more messages than I go to sleep to. So you have to be passionate about that. There's a lot of hard work. The same with any role, or the same with any job. There are going to be moments and tasks that you might not necessarily want to do. But we always say to our players, we do a big media day before the start of each season. And for most of them, it's the first time they've had makeup put on because they're going to be in front of a camera and have photos taken. I didn't get my makeup done today, just for clarity. Wasn't here early enough. Timekeeping is a good one. But also, we say to them, look, at the end of the day, we're putting you on a stage in front of a camera, but you're playing video games. You know, if you're an esports player, if you're working behind the cameras today, if you're in production, you're working in video games. There are very, very few people in this world that can truly stand up and say, I love the industry I work with, I love the people, the brands, and it doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like a job. So, yeah, that would be my kind of biggest piece of it. I've never worked with an industry this passionate, and that goes for sports as well. Never seen anything like this.
I mean, kind of reiterating what the guys have said, really. What I say to the teams that I work with, be them experienced or graduates, when you work in the games industry as a game developer, when it's a bad day, it's one of the hardest days of your life. It happens often. Things go wrong when you're making games. You have a vision of what you want to make. It doesn't deliver for whatever reason. You have incredibly complicated problems to try and solve. But you have way more good days than bad days. And the good days, it's the best job in the world, in my opinion. It's not really a job. It's a hobby that pays. If you're really good at it, it's a hobby that pays you incredibly well. If you're not so good at it, it's still a hobby that pays you pretty well. I think you'll mix with phenomenally varied, passionate, and intelligent people. And we kind of, because we're not great at presenting ourselves, game developers, usually, we don't come across in the way that I think the public can see that that's what we're about behind closed doors. But you will get to work with incredibly versatile, passionate teams on amazing, complex, creative things. Honestly, I think it's the best job there is.
I think XMA, when we bring on graduates to our business, we have placements once a year. We always give them advice to study hard, you know, learn the latest technology, enjoy, have fun, and work hard as a team. Esports is a growing market, and it's fun to be in. Listening to all the guys here, so it's study, work hard, play hard, have fun.
Perfect. I think that summarises it quite well. I think that was actually very insightful from all of you. Some very, echoing the similar ideas, but from very different perspectives and different experiences, I think. So thank you very much. Do we have any more questions from the audience?
We
do. Yeah. You're right behind the camera, so I can't point to you, but I think you know who we mean.
There's a guy at the back as well.
Two in the middle.
Yeah.
Seeing as the games industry has been growing for a while now, and it's going to be growing in the future, where do you see it? Where do you see the industry going in the next decade or so?
I think so when I started making games, you basically made them for a PC or for a console, so it was sort of PlayStation. Well, actually, when I really started, it was kind of Commodore 64, that sort of thing. Now you've got mobile, you've got virtual reality, you've got augmented reality, you've got PC and console, and there's such a huge diversity in the industry that each component of that is growing exponentially year on year. So, 5 years ago, really, probably before the iPhone, mobile wasn't great. Now, with the smart devices, the mobile industry is huge. But there was a point where people thought mobile was going to dominate and console was going to die out. But that didn't happen. They brought out the PS4, Xbox One, and now, of course, you've got the Switch. So the console industry is also growing. There's virtual reality is coming into its own. So I think, it's because it's so technologically driven, technology is getting faster and faster and faster. So all that does is it unleashes the creativity of the content creators. So no longer are we struggling to just deliver something quite rudimentary because it's a technical challenge. It now becomes a much more creative challenge. So for me, I think in the next 10, 20 years, honestly, who knows? 25 years ago, I was playing games that were monochrome and on a tiny pixel resolution, and it was very 2D. Now you're seeing amazing 3D experiences. In 25 years' time, I think it's really what you guys actually are going to come up with.
I think from an esports perspective, we're seeing a professionalisation of competition that we've never seen before. I mean, you look at the Overwatch League, for instance. Players are guaranteed a minimum salary. They have healthcare. They are housed correctly. They have dietitians and physios working with them. It is a viable career choice now. Now that the Overwatch League is a small window of players compared to the global amount of people that play video games competitively. But what we've done with the Elite Series, we're bringing amateurs through to pro level, and they're now starting to live in team houses, working together, salaried players, healthcare, etc. It's becoming so much more viable as a career option, to the point now where some of the athletes, and I would call them athletes in their own right, that we work with, are as recognisable as traditional sports superstars. So if you look at League of Legends and you look at SKT, the Korean team, they have a player called Faker. Faker cannot walk through Seoul or most parts of Korea without being mobbed. He could walk through Fulham Broadway outside here right now, no one would know who he is, but they put him on the Pepsi billboards, on the Lynx billboards, rather than traditional sports stars. So we're seeing players and personalities escalated to that level. And I think a big part of that is because this is such an accessible industry. It's so easy for us all to play games on our mobile, on console, on PC. Everyone has that same starting point, which you don't necessarily see in many industries. So greater professionalisation from our perspective is, I think you'll see more and more professional leagues creating real superstars of the future, hopefully with some of the guys we've got here today.
I think just, again, similar from the esports side, I think it's, first of all, if any of us knew what it was going to be like in 10 years, we'd be incredibly rich because we'd be doing it now. But also, I think the UK is actually significantly quite far behind some other continents in the world, so we can kind of look at what they're doing and kind of see where we'll get to. Like saying with the Korean guys, they walk down the street and get mobbed. I think UK will get to that point. We'll start having some of the mega stars over in the UK, like hopefully one of you guys in here. And I think it's just more legitimacy in the industry, I think, will help it progress. And I think publishers now are launching games with esports in mind, which definitely was not happening a few years ago. And I think pretty much every game right now is coming out with a competitive element, with the idea if it gets broadcast like this, they get their game exposed more. So I think we'll see like, who would have guessed that Battle Royale would be the biggest game mode like a year ago, and now it's like the biggest thing in the world. Who knows what the next one will be? I think mobile is definitely one to look at. I think we picked it up here. I think mobile will take off in a bit, but there's so many variables that it's so hard to judge, and it's, if you bank on one, you might lose that money, but you could be very rich.
Yeah, from a developer standpoint, it's really hard to tell where the technology is going to go. You know, you got VR and AR and things like making big sort of inroads into the sort of tech that people are willing to experience, purchase and experience. But definitely it's going to get larger. Like video games, as more and more people are born, so it's more accessible to the younger generations identifying, and as more and more people are sort of getting born and growing up with these video games, there's going to be a greater demand for it. There's going to be bigger and bigger studios and more of them going forward. So it's going to become a more and more viable like career option, both to be in esports and be a professional sort of professional athlete on that regard, but also developing and supporting companies as well, things like that.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys. I think that was honestly really, really insightful. I think we've given some amazing answers to some, pretty good questions here. I think we're really helping to kind of showcase what's going on in this industry, where it's going, and the challenges that we face, but more importantly, just how awesome it is to be here, right? And trying to encourage all of you guys here and all of you at home as well to get involved for sure. So unfortunately, we don't have any more time for any more questions, but thank you to everybody that did ask them. So we're going to go for a 20-minute break now, but do not go anywhere, as we have something crazy exciting coming up. Guys, you know what time it is. It is time for our grand finals of our Overwatch competition.